Countries such as France saying you don't believe in God isn't such a big deal, but in Egypt it takes a lot of courage, with the authorities viewing atheists as deviant. The government even launched a campaign over the summer to combat atheism, particularly amongst young people. Our team in Cairo met some non-believers and their opponents.
In a country where religion is everywhere, declaring yourself an atheist can be a dangerous act of rebellion. These young Egyptians are among the few non-believers who dare to speak openly on camera. Ahmed abandoned Islam in 2010 after months of doubt about his practice. He used to be an ultra-conservative Muslim.
I used to be a Salafist. I come from a family of Salafists. Once I became an atheist, everything changed completely. I was rejected by society. Everyone wanted to bring me back to religion.
Nada left her family home a year ago, worried about how her loved ones would interpret her news.
In my family, I couldn't say I'd abandoned religion because they might have reacted in a very violent way. As a woman, it's difficult for me to live in a society like this, in what some would call an Islamic state.
ISMAIL is among those leading the fight. He was the first Egyptian to proclaim his own atheist views on television. He believes young atheists should have more freedom following the 2011 revolution.
We're not trying to divide society any more than it already is. We are asking for total freedom of religion, as is the case in any other modern state.
He's also created a YouTube channel which he uses as a platform to interview atheists in different Arab nations. Social media can help combat a sense of isolation, but it can also put people at risk. In Egypt, openly expressing atheist views can come at a high cost. This mother hasn't seen her son in 2 years. Albert Saber fled to Switzerland after being condemned to 3 years in jail. The young atheist, once a Coptic Christian, was accused of insulting religion for having published extracts of an Islamophobic film on his Facebook page.
Albert didn't want to leave the country. He kept saying, "I won't run away. I will fight for my cause." He was getting death threats, even in prison.
Though still a practicing Christian, Albert's mother now feels that she too has been shunned by society.
No one wants to hire me now, even my friends. People recognize me because I was in the newspapers. Everyone knows I'm Albert's mother and that I'd offended him.
Albert was put on trial while the Islamists were in power, but not much has changed under the new government. Another student is currently on trial for blasphemy. Freedom of religion is technically guaranteed by Egypt's constitution, but the government considers atheism as much of a threat to society as religious extremism. This summer, the Youth Ministry announced a national plan to fight the growing phenomenon. Neamat Sati is one of its strongest proponents. She's overseeing the development of a website to try to convince non-believers of their errors.
On the website, we'll have articles by sociologists answering questions from young people and their families about this problem. There will also be contributions from psychologists, members of the Ministry of Religious Affairs, and institutes devoted to religious thought.
The ministry is also planning a street campaign across the country to try to bring young atheists back to their faith.
They need experts to make them aware of reality, correct their beliefs, and put them back on the right track.
Egyptian authorities have also recommended psychological counseling for atheists whose views they consider deviant. Many Egyptians, no matter what their religion, take a negative view of non-believers.
We don't like them, we don't care about them.
I think it's not good for our society. Our society is very religious, whether Muslim or Christian.
Human rights activists are increasingly concerned about the treatment of atheists in Egypt and the government's growing hold on society.
It's an easy way out to say that atheists are sick, that they have to be treated. And of course, then they're taken into the charge of organizations that are run by the state and religious institutions. The political atmosphere in general in Egypt indicates a decrease in liberties, and that includes religious freedom.
In the new Egypt, under President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, religion and moral values are of the utmost importance. Egyptian atheists know that their beliefs, or lack thereof, are likely to remain taboo. but they're hoping to fight stigma and find their place in a changing society.
Now, for more on this, I'm joined on the line by Omar Ashur. He's a senior lecturer in Middle East politics at the University of Exeter. Hello, thank you very much indeed for being with us. Now, there are an estimated 2 to 4 million atheists in Egypt out of a total population of 90 million. Has there really been a rise in the number of atheists over the last few years, or is it just that there are more people speaking up, and that is partly due perhaps to social media?
I think it's partly due to people speaking up and partly due to the social media that we're discovering more and more about atheism in Egypt. As the report mentioned, it is a taboo issue, and it is very, very dangerous to declare it. But I think after the Arab uprisings, specifically after 2011, you saw an emboldening in terms of the freedom of belief and the freedom of expression. And therefore, you saw more and more exposure of atheists in Egypt. But of course, this comes with consequences. One of the most powerful players.
I'm afraid we've lost our connection there to our focus guest, Omar Ashur. He's a senior lecturer in Middle East politics at the University of Exeter. We were hoping to speak to him a little bit longer, but we're going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. Thanks for watching live from Paris. Do stay tuned to France 24.